Happy Friday. Welcome to LEARNin San Diego Live. We've got a very special guest for you today, Stephanie Sundell of LRS Realty and Management. And I'm excited to say we're going to be talking about Vista today. But before we dive in, just wanted to remind you that we do have an Oceanside event that's going to be coming up. It's called the Oceanside Meet and Greet today. Friday, March 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. So don't miss it. It's a rooftop bar at Oceanside. Again, what we focus in on is doing a show, talking about a specific region, and then putting together an event so that you can actually meet us all at this event. My name is Chris Astelero with Exchange Resources. We are LEARNin San Diego Live. All right, everybody, welcome again to the show. I'm super excited for today's show. Stephanie Sundell is here, and we're going to be diving into a Vista. Now, when you are purchasing real estate in specific regions of San Diego, this is the only show that really dives deep into different regions of San Diego so that you can figure out whether or not this area, this region, this zip code, this city is right for you. We're going to be talking about the quality of life. How are the schools? What's the crime rate? What are there any farmers markets out there? What is the vibe in that city? What's the culture? I mean, what is the recreational activities, parks? Those are the types of things in quality of life that you need to consider. We're also going to be talking about market trends. What's the pricing? What's the average price of real estate going on in Vista right now? What's the inventory like? If you're a buyer or seller, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Are buyers still going to be able to negotiate concessions and get buy downs for their interest rates when they make an offer on a property? We're also going to be talking about economic development. Businesses that are going on, businesses that are being opened, the infrastructure, the growth trends, what's going on economically in Vista. So these are the type of things that you need to consider when doing that. And so before we move on, we're going to go ahead and get into it with our LEARNin Local News.
Hello, my name is Harry Dennis with C2 Financial. I'm in the mortgage arena, and we're going to talk about the news. Referencing an article from the San Diego Cash Buyer.com is the Great Housing Reset of 2026. What does this mean? The last 5 months have been declining prices here in San Diego market for homeowners, and rents have gone down significantly as well. So how are we going to deal with this year coming with it? So there's a couple key points, as I said before, with the prices, the rents, also supply. It's starting to hit the market too as well. And then obviously we know people is the affordability here in San Diego. We creeped under 5%. And then with everything in the news going on, now we're, mid to high sixes almost in a month. So it is crazy times out there. And I want to get some of the panel's opinion on what's going on with this article and the market itself. Let's start out with Martin. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you, Harry. Hey guys, it's Martin Magana with Oak Rock Realty. The way I kind of see it is the more inventory there is, the
you're
more...
on mute.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep, you're good, Martin.
The way I see it is the more inventory you have, the more kind of buying power these buyers will have. One thing to keep note of the increased inventory is obviously there's more competition when you're trying to sell your home. So expect things to sit longer, expect your comps to be worth a little bit less. And just kind of overall, I'm seeing this as a good thing for buyers, assuming you can get in right with a good lender, get a really good rate, obviously with them being so high up. You just got to work with people who can help you up the most. So that's where people like Harry come in. So I would definitely reach out to them or Casey Clayton.
Awesome. Thanks, Martin. Eris, go ahead. Mr. Real Estate.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's a great article and really interesting. And I think one thing that we are seeing that the article points out, when you have the higher interest rates, that affordability for buyers goes down, it shrinks. So just as an example, the article points out when rates were 3%, a household earning 120K could afford a $500,000 home. Where they are now, it's a $365,000 home when we're in the 6% range. So that's nearly 30% reduction in your purchasing power when the rates are this high. So I think that's one of the main things we're seeing that kind of slowing the market. But always take these things with a grain of salt too, because each submarket in every neighborhood is its own reflection of what's going on. For example, here in Carlsbad, our price over the last month, our average home sales price went up $91,000 and our days on market went down to 22 days on market. So just because you see San Diego, each neighborhood is going to have its own thing going on. But shifting to our special guest this week, we want to give it over to Stephanie. So what do you think?
Well, I'm also in the leasing space too. So I'm seeing rents going down. I'm having to have some really hard conversations with some landlords right now of, the COVID vibe is gone and we need to lessen this. I haven't gotten a single hit on it. So I'm seeing both housing prices and leasing prices going down. So I think that's actually good news for our consumers now. For sure.
Casey, go ahead, buddy.
Casey, you're on mute.
Happy Friday, San Diego. Casey Clayton with Cross Country Mortgage. What this article screams to me is if you're able to buy, it's a great time to buy, especially if you're an investor looking at a long-term appreciation play. It mentions in the article, right, 2008 was the last time that we saw home values drop in San Diego, and 2011-12 was the last reset. That was 15 to 20 years ago. Homes have appreciated ever since then, every year. And even though we have this 5 months of declining values right now, Redfin, Fannie Mae, a lot of the big bodies in this industry are still predicting a year-over-year increase, even though it might be minimal. So getting in right now, you can forecast a lot of appreciation in the future. We probably won't see an event like this again in San Diego for quite some time. So again, really great time to get in. One other thing that I took from the article is the 33% cash buyers. Some of that is just strategy, right? So being on the lending space, we have a lot of buyers that go in with cash to get the best deal or to win the property when it's a competitive market. And then we come back and we put a loan behind it. So even though, it says 33% cash buyers, realistically, a lot of these people are probably getting some type of financing after the fact. But that is what you have to compete with if that's not an option for you.
Hey, everybody, Tracy Hassey, Tycor Escrow Services. And I missed some of the conversations, but just a few sound bites here. San Diego, people come from all over the world to come to San Diego. We're really not in a downturn. We're in a repositioning. And I'm sure that is in alignment with what everybody's talking about. And for those who understand this shift, this is where huge opportunities are created. And, there's more negotiations, which means more complexity. So what does that mean on the escrow front? You need experts handling your deals and taking them to the finish line, because there is increased risk with wire fraud, cybercrime. And, the Tycor Advantage, we have senior escrow officers that have been in the business 35 to 40 years and the Fortune backing of a Fortune 300 company. So with all the experts here, you're in good shape, and you're going to find the right home or sell your home with these experts and be able to take it to the finish line for success. So thanks.
Thank you, Tracy. Chris with Exchange Resources. I absolutely love the article. Thank you so much for your insights on this. I think that with the article, this is definitely a recalibration. And over the article basically says it's going to take about a couple years for this recalibration. But prices still are high. And I think a lot of buyers are still against the fence of whether or not they want to, purchase, because the prices are still so high. But with this recalibration, hopefully the prices will continue to go down. Maybe the interest rates will go down a little bit more. But the average price of a home in San Diego right now is $975,000 to about $1 million. And for a lot of these buyers to be able to qualify for these loans, I mean, you have to make an average income, a dual income of about $275,000 in order to do that. And your mortgage payments are roughly going to be about $6,000 a month. I mean, obviously, if there's a buy down, that's important because, I mean, the thing is, it's a teaser rate. So a lot of these buyers have to take into consideration if they can actually afford that mortgage 2-3 years down the line when it's the actual rate. But statistically, as Casey says, it's a great time to buy because statistically, property values double in value in San Diego every 15 years. So if buyers can afford it, if sellers can come down on their price and be negotiable, then I think that this is going to be a great market. And as Tracy was saying, there's going to be a lot of great opportunities. And also another thing that Eris was saying is that every region has its own different region within the region. And, you just have to take this with a grain of salt and learn from the information and then act on it. So now what is Learnin Local Live? LearnIn Local Live is a live podcast. We highlight subject market educators, realtors, contractors, lenders, professionals in the market who are out there working with buyers and sellers and contractors and investors. And so they're here to present real news because there's a lot of fake news out there. Sometimes it's very difficult to weed through all the things that are news and find out what's fake and what's real. But we are here to educate, empower, and inspire you, all of our viewers, to make the right decisions in real estate because some of these decisions can be very costly. And we want to make sure that you are connected with the right people to be able to guide you through those processes and make sure that you don't make the wrong decision. And how do we do that? We connect, we collaborate, and we create content with our subject market educators, real people, real deals in real time. So with that in mind, let's get into it and meet our subject market educators. And again, this is the only show that presents subject market educators to present you real information in real time. That's why we have them here. And they are basically the ones who create and who make this show happen. So thank you for all of that. We do appreciate you. How's everybody feeling today?
Awesome.
Hey,
It's a
awesome.
beautiful day
Happy
here
Friday.
in San Diego. Woohoo.
Yeah, I feel that, with the seasons, December, it was winter and then it was supposed to be spring, but I think it jumped over to summer because now it's just, beach season now. It's hot out there. It's perfect weather. It's something to be grateful for, right, guys? I mean, as far as living here, and that's why we pay the price that we pay.
Isn't it always summer in San Diego, Chris?
I think so.
Relative to the rest of the world.
Absolutely. So everybody's feeling good. Everybody's doing great out there, making things happen, working with sellers, working with buyers, working with, landlords. Stephanie is also, in management, and it's great to have our lenders here as well and our professional wholesaler. So it's great to have every aspect of real estate here to be able to present all this information, all this great information. And I want to remind everybody, this is the only show in San Diego that actually does this and presents all of these professionals here to you at your fingertips. So, thank you so much for being here. And again, without all of you, we wouldn't have a show. So thank you so much for all of that. And so I'm one of these subject market educators. And, I'm here to promote my business as well. But, if you get involved with the community, this is what they can do for you. Located in Rancho Bernardo, we've been around for over 26 years and we've done over 60,000 tax deferred exchanges. If you don't do a 1031 tax deferred exchange, you could be faced with about 30 to 40% in taxes. Right? Wouldn't you rather roll that over into the next property so that you can buy more with it? Well, we're here to give you your options. Let's talk. And again, thank you all so much for being here and being able to present, very valuable information to all of our buyers and sellers. But before we get deep into it, let's get into it with our LearnIn Local Insights.
Good afternoon, San Diego. Welcome to our Learning Local Insights segment. Before we jump in today's segment, let's thank our sponsor.
Protection that puts you first. Your home and your family deserve security, stability, and peace of mind. For every mile, every moment, every memory in motion. Because every drive deserves to get you home safely. Comprehensive solutions that safeguard your operations, assets, and future. Farmers Insurance, because your life deserves protection that truly matters.
Awesome. We want to thank Patrick and Farmers Insurance again for sponsoring the show. It is fantastic to have an expert like Patrick on the insurance side. I highly recommend anyone watching this show to go check them out. All right, guys, let's jump into our Learning Local segment for today. My name is Eris Nagnos with the Mr. Carlsbad Real Estate team. We are your one-stop broker in Carlsbad for all things real estate. But today we are talking about Vista. I love Vista. So many great homes over there. The downtown, it's a lot of fun. And we're going to talk first about the quality of life there. And we have no one better to present that than our very own Stephanie here, who is the expert for all things Vista. So Stephanie, I'll let you jump into it.
Hello, all. Thank you. Yeah, I love Vista. This is it's a little patch that hasn't really been found yet. The downtown area is just exploding. We're getting new bars, restaurants, breweries, more breweries. We are considered the #1 brewery capital in San Diego. I think we're up to 25 breweries now. So we're chill here in Vista. An average, weekend would be like farmers markets, breweries. We have a lot of fun things to do, like the Strawberry Festival. That's the Memorial Weekend. 4th of July, we've got Bringle Terrace. They shoot off the fireworks. I don't have to go anywhere. I just look out my backyard. It's all right there. I'm biking distance to the village, so there's great things to do. Live music at like Insane Brewery. I can go on and on. In fact, I should put together a website for it. So I just love Vista. That's some of the best.
Well, and I think of Vista, when I think of Vista, because I'm all the way down south in Coronado and lived in Del Mar for some time. But when I think of Vista, it's like, it's beautiful. It's open space. It's one of those last true value pockets in North County. You get more space, more home, more lifestyle for your dollar versus other areas of San Diego. And I've always been coastal. From Vista, you're 15, 20 minutes to the coast, which is amazing. So you can enjoy that expansive space and then head to the beach. So it really gives you, when I think of Vista in a nutshell, it gives you lifestyle, leverage, and something that gets harder to find in San Diego County. So excited to learn more from you today, Stephanie, and everybody here on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and one thing that I think of when I think of Vista is the land you can get out there still, right? Like there's so much land available. And I think they even have I don't even know if I should call them but little mini farms. So just a lot of uniqueness that you don't see in a lot of San Diego County. And it is a hidden pocket because you get all of this close to the coast. You're not going out the Valley Center, right? You're still so close to the coast. Vista's done such a great job building up their downtown with all the breweries Stephanie mentioned. So you're close to the city, you have a lot to do, but you could have your own little farm right there too, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, definitely. You can have animals, chickens. I actually wake up to a rooster every morning. It's okay. I'm fine with it. It's great. And, but you also have the train that goes right through here. So you've got the Sprinter that will take you to the coast. And sometimes I get on my bike and just jump on the train and go to Oceanside and hang out there. And I don't have to worry about parking. So it's very accessible. And yeah, the quality of life here, it's a little secret, and I think I'm going to be letting it out today. But yes, you can still get a home for around 750,000. There's one on the market right now. It does needs a little fixing up, but you're at a quarter of an acre no matter where you go around here, unless you're in a townhome. And you can lot split some of the larger lots, like you'd mentioned, as well as put a tiny home. I'm in that tiny home space. So make an extra 2,500, $3,000 a month, just by bringing utilities out there and placing a tiny home. And right now, Vista is accepting of that, as well as Airbnb. They don't have any cap on that. So we're kind of wild, wild west at the moment, which is a good way to be.
Wow, thank you, Stephanie, for all that. I mean, a lot of different insights with this that probably a lot of our audience might not know, but just the up and coming things and the events. I'm a golfer personally, so I go out to Shadow Ridge usually, once or twice a year, and I've noticed just the growth and development of Vista, and then from the lending standpoint, since I'm in that space, is the financing, and then like you said, with adding the ADU or extra rental income, you get more space, maybe spaced out from the neighbors. And with the up and coming growth, I definitely think it is one of the jewels of our county on affordability. And as Tracy mentioned, not relatively speaking, not too far from the coast as well. So I'm definitely interested in checking out and seeing more Vista.
One thing I will say that Casey pointed out was the land access. So when most buyers are looking for some sort of acreage, some sort of larger land, either like equestrian stuff, something for a farm for horses, I typically send them over to Fallbrook. So having this area so central to San Diego, and you're near Carlsbad, the ocean, San Marcos, Oceanside, you're very centrally located, and the access to land is just, most people don't even know that because they see these other surrounding cities and just assume that it's all going to be like that. You're not really going to find giant acreages of land. So having this little pocket in Vista is honestly a shock to a lot of people, but I think it's a great opportunity to expand and do what Stephanie was saying with the lot splits, the adding mini homes. Just there's so many different options you can do with the land there. So I think it's a great spot.
Well, thanks, guys. And yeah, I think that is definitely in line with what I've seen. I've shown a lot of houses, sold a lot of homes in Vista. And yeah, it's a great little hidden gem. So Stephanie, speaking of houses, what is going on? What are the trends that you're seeing with the market in Vista right now?
Well, if you have a 3-bed, 2-bath, like in like a little part of Vista, not huge lots in this one, but like between 800,000 and 900,000, it's only staying on the market between like 5 and 20 days. So that's kind of yeah. So I'm trying to get more of those right now. It's the first time home buyer, and this is a perfect spot for them. That is exactly their little box that they want to go into, dual income. They can afford that. And that comes with land, but, just a nice little backyard. And then there is what we call more of the mansions that is happening. And here's a funny story. It's actually happening right now. There is a 4,000 square foot mansion with an indoor pool. We're writing a deal on right now for $1.2 million. It's been on the market for a long time. Wow. So I was able to get owner finance on that. So there's a lot of creative deals happening in Vista too, because of the silver tsunami, with the older generation now going, okay, I'm done. I need to sell this 4,000 square foot home because I can't take care of it anymore. So that's what I'm seeing a lot right now. So that's what we're doing, is moving larger homes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, one of the things I was going to mention and what I noticed with Vista that I like about it is that you do have sort of a lot of older historic kind of buildings and the homes too. A lot of them built in the 60s. And so it's great for, first time buyers, like you're saying, who are willing to, get a house at a little bit lower of a price with some land, understanding that you're going to have some work to do to make improvements there to make it, a bit more livable. And especially with the silver tsunami that we're seeing, I think that's just going to happen more and more with Vista. But that's, part of its charm too, is those kind of historical older properties, some of the Spanish style, homes you'll see out there.
Yeah, definitely. With the big pools.
I have relatives who actually live in Vista. They've been living there for about 25 years now. They absolutely love it. And they see all this growth that's happening within their community. The last time I was in Vista, I went to a networking event, and I was blown away by, just the developments that are in downtown. It's pretty amazing to see, that this is like an underrated community where people really need to look at, because, the affordability is there. And again, if I were purchasing a house, I mean, the 78 is right there. It just goes straight to Oceanside, very close to the beach. And that's what I want. I'm a beach guy. So I don't want to be so far east that it's going to take me like an hour or an hour and a half to get to the beach. This is perfect. But I absolutely love Vista. It's a great place to raise a family. And again, having animals, having chickens and hens, maybe to have fresh eggs, and then horses and everything. That reminds me of when I was a kid in the Philippines. So I used to live on a farm when I was a kid, climbing coconut trees and all this other stuff. But it's just great, the opportunities that are out there for Vista. And I encourage a lot of our viewers to really talk to Stephanie and really reach out to her to see what the opportunities are for buying your perfect home in Vista while it's under development.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking so much about first-time home buyers and about affordability in Vista. So I wanted to tie this back to the article real quick. There's a piece of information in there that I think is a little misleading, and I don't want our viewers to be discouraged if they are in that first-time home buyer category or if they're looking for something affordable. But that article mentions you need to make $275,000 a year to afford $1 million house. I think it throws the word comfortably in there somewhere. And comfortably is different for everybody, right? Everybody's scenario is different. You do not need to make $275,000 to afford $1 million house. Down payment, your other debts, your spending habits. There's so much more that goes into it. So get with a good lender, go over your specific scenario. And I think you'll find, even if you're not quite at that 275 threshold, there's still a lot of great homes that you can afford at that medium price point in Vista.
Definitely.
One other thing I would point out for these larger lots in Vista is be ready for them to kind of sit on the market a little bit longer, especially with the lack of comps in some situations. I know I've looked at a good amount of deals in Vista where it's a great like equestrian property, but then there's no comparables nearby. They're all going to be single family, even though you're sitting on like a giant like 1 or 2 acre lot. The acreage is hard to comp for a lot of people. So just make sure you're not overpaying just because you're on a huge lot, and make sure you also walk the properties, make sure all the land is usable. It's not an acre of lot, but only like a quarter of it is actually flat and usable, and the rest is just on a hill. So make sure you look out for all these little things like that.
Yeah, well said, Martin. Kind of as Stephanie said earlier, if sellers really want to get their price because the market is shifting right now, I think the creative financing is the way to go. We're seeing a lot of equity in people's homes, and really it's finding out, that motivation of the seller. Do they want to sell? Do they not? Because some people have the 3-4% interest rates. What's the motivation they want to sell? There's right now in kind of referring to the article, as Casey said, it's time now where there's opportunity out there. So I think it's finding out what like I said, the motivation of the seller, putting something together that makes sense for the buyer. Like Stephanie's doing with the creative financing and tying that together. So I think this year is a great opportunity year.
Yeah, it's saving that seller, a lot of money in capital gains by just having that lower down payment, and then he's getting residual for the next 10 years. So,
yeah, Stephanie, I like how you kind of reversed engineered, because I think you said, hey, the seller wants to have $5,000 a month, but if he sold the property, he's getting hit with, if he owns it outright, the 1.2 million in capital gains, it could pay 300,000. And then again, we have tax experts and all that can deal with that. But if he needs 5,000 a month to live for his kids or whatever, it's just, it's a win-win for all parties involved.
Exactly. Yep. So I'll let you know today.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Well, and there's always a demand for single family homes under $1 million. So I'm learning so much from everybody about this secret pocket in North County, San Diego. And the bottom line is, buyers can be more strategic. And I feel what I'm seeing actually are sellers that are really prepping the home. Those are the ones that are winning. Those are the ones that are selling and that are open to negotiations. Because at the end of the day, it's all about negotiations, right? So Vista isn't slowing down. I see it really where smart deals are happening and lots of opportunity with ADUs and for investors or first-time home buyers or wherever you are in the market. So great job, team.
Thanks.
Awesome stuff, guys. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about what is going on with the development in the economy with Vista. What are you seeing? What is the city planning? What are the major businesses moving into the area? So Stephanie, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, every time I go anywhere, there is definitely construction traffic. So we're getting a lot of new infrastructure, new fire department buildings, and whole neighborhoods are going in, kind of just off like Buena Creek Road up there. There's so much building, and it is organized building, which is good. A lot of high-rise stuff happening in downtown. That's probably more leasing. So they are trying to reach the first-time home buyer. That they know their target market. Let's put it that way. So they're trying to keep the home pricing down. And speaking of first-time home buyers, we are doing a webinar on April 16th at 7 p.m. Harry and I. So there is a link in the chat there, and we'd love to have you and talk more about this one-on-one.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing to hear that. And by the way, I mean, so when you say they're targeting the first-time home buyers, are there builders that have new construction developments coming in there? Because those builders, you can get those really intriguing interest rates, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I see them like around 3% if you use their lender.
Right.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening right over there. So that's not due up for another year and a half. But with the townhomes that are going in, those are about ready to go. Yeah.
Well, and I love that you shared, your feet on the street, boots on the ground in Vista. So you're seeing all the construction happening, and it can be a pain in the butt. But the bigger picture is, the city is investing in the infrastructure, it sounds like, and revitalization projects, which at the end of the day, that is boosting property values. So, I really see Vista as a place where, more investors are targeting Vista because of the low entry point, its high upside potential versus the coastal markets, and really where this smart money is going before the rest of San Diego fully catches on.
Exactly. You can get it like a little 1-bedroom apartment here for like $359. I saw one right up the street. So it's good.
Or
entry.
Condo? Is that a condo?
The condo, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. And Vista's already a lot cheaper of an area compared to the local cities. But once we get into the deal in a second, we actually have a condo in Vista that we're going to be talking about at these low prices. First-time buyers. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for your insights. Stephanie, thank you. I mean, this really opened up our eyes as to what the opportunities are in Vista. And I think from a 1031 exchange perspective, as an investor going into Vista, and if you hold that property, for several years and the growth continues, you're going to see that, growth in, gain that you can actually roll over into other properties at a later time and buy more properties with it. So there's a lot of definitely 1031 exchange opportunities for investors looking into investing in Vista and doing the Airbnbs, like you said, and then maybe building an ADU and collecting income from that. But thank you all so much. Great insight. Our viewers, I'm sure, are grateful to have you here to be able to present this. And again, expert in Vista, Stephanie. So with all that in mind, let's get into the next segment of our show and get into it with our Learning Local Deals.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chris, for that. Again, my name is Martin Magana with Oak Rock Realty, and I'll be bringing you the Learning Local Deals today, where we're going to bring you real deals in real time. But before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsor of the deal segment, Revolution Realty Capital. Again, thank you so much, Ruben and Revolution Capital, for bringing this to us. But that being said, let's hop right into the deal. So with the Vista trend, we will be staying in the area. It's actually near Shadow Ridge, where Harry likes to go golfing. But that being said, it is a 2-2 bed bath condo, 952 square feet, built in 1986. They're asking around 480 grand for this. It is a 1-car garage, and it features a few community amenities being in this HOA property: a pool, a spa, a little tennis court. It's close to the 78, so easy access, a lot of shopping centers, restaurants, daily essentials nearby. The price point is really good for those first time or like younger professionals trying to get into this kind of market. The property itself features vaulted ceilings. It has a really beautiful fireplace, a private patio, and a really good layout. It's just very outdated and needs a good amount of work. That being said, the rehab on a condo, you can expect way cheaper rehab, way shorter rehab times. But like I always say, always account for longer times, because you never know what you might run into. But with that, any HOA condos, any of these type of properties that have some sort of governing body, so in this case, the HOA, always call them to make sure what you can and cannot do. Because I've had deals where we've had to lose out on them because it turns out just because they're on the second floor, they removed the hardwood, and then the HOA said that you never even could have hardwood in the first place. So they had to put in carpet, which completely killed a lot of their comps. So make sure you call the HOA, see what the issues are, ask for any special assessments in the past, and just get all the information before you buy. But yeah, what do you guys think about this deal? What do you guys think of this condos price point?
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it with the HOA, especially if you're looking to do any renovations on a condo. That's going to be the most important part. And also to review what their review process is, right? Because when you want to do renovations on a condo, you have to submit all those renovations to the HOA association. They normally want to make sure all of the contractors are fully licensed, have proper insurances. And then there's a turn time on that. Some of them say, hey, we'll review it within the week. Some of them say they're going to wait until their next scheduled HOA meeting to even review it. And a lot of them won't even start the review until you actually own the condo. So definitely call them, make sure you know what you're allowed to do, and then how long it'll take. So once you do take over ownership, you can get everything submitted right away. One other flip side to that is on a smaller renovation like this on a condo, to keep costs down, my opinion is you keep it simple. Don't really need to go and change the layout or do anything crazy that would require permitting or require the HOA to really stop you from moving plumbing or electrical. That keeps it simple, higher likelihood everything's going to fly through a lot quicker too.
Yeah, Eris?
Yeah, definitely great points, Casey. Yeah, Martin, that's a great looking unit there. And yeah, nice high ceilings. I think the one thing I would always check first with any condo nowadays is we have to make sure that the community status, if you are getting a mortgage, that it is warrantable for a loan. So I'm sure that one looks like it's pretty simple, pretty clean. I'm sure it's fine, but a lot of HOAs have been dropped from their master HOA insurance policy. And when that happens, it becomes non-warrantable. So what does that mean? It means you cannot use conventional financing or FHA, VA financing to purchase in that condo. You have to get a different kind of loan that's called a non-QM product, and they're much more expensive. So that can kind of kill your deal if the HOA isn't in good standing. So that's the first thing you want to check before you get in the car and go look at that house or that condo. But yeah, I mean, Harry, you could dive in a little more about that. What do you think about that place?
Yeah, I've got quite a few condos refinancing and purchasing right now. And obviously, with the rules, regulations, state of California, I always just tell my buyers and obviously agents too, just to be aware, walk the condo area, the common areas, take a look around. Does it need painting? Is there deferred maintenance by the pool? Is the roof looking? Because these things, they might not be said, but eventually I don't want my buyer or a buyer to buy. And then a year later, it's an assessment of 10, 20, 30,000, or the dues go up from 300 or 400 to 600 or 700. So I wouldn't be fooled if the dues are 600 or 300. I would want to know what's behind those dues. And as Casey said, you want to look at the pertinent factors too. With the financing and the insurance, and there's a lot of different factors, pretty much like a checklist of things to go through with the non-QM, as Eric said, in terms of the financing. If, so the deductible, for them to keep the dues down, they are they're increasing the deductible. So that doesn't meet regular lending guidelines of Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. So that can affect things too with financing too. But again, it can affect that. Short term, long term, I'm sure things will get worked out. But again, of this year, back to the article, it's an opportunity maybe to get in there. You pay a little bit more now. Maybe you get a better value. Tax basis is better. And then maybe refinance down the road to get back into the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac.
100%. Due diligence is like the name of the game here. And especially with things that are like very recent, like the SB 326 bill, which basically makes the HOA balconies have to be up to date every 9 years, stuff like that, that a lot of people don't know about. Make sure you call, make sure you ask about these things, make sure you get all the up-to-date information. And pro tip, call the comps that are recently renovated and ask them if they had any issues with it or any red flags that they might have seen. You never know what they might tell you. But with that, Stephanie, what do you think?
Absolutely. Well, anytime that you're doing anything with an HOA, you always have to ask a higher source, right? And I have a listing right now in North Park, and the HOA is $602, and I'm having a hard time selling that little condo. So anything that's kind of like over about 500, you really need to look at exactly what those guys said, the reserves, and make sure that that condo HOA is healthy. But on the same flip, so if you've got a HOA that's $500-600, look at buying a single family home for like maybe $700,000, which is what we have here in Vista. Yes, you do have to redo the kitchen, but maybe you can just paint the cabinets and just live in it for a little bit until you kind of get some equity going.
So many incredible pro tips. I'm learning so much from everybody. This is fantastic. So I think it really comes down to working with the experts and agents creating deals. And, you think, oh, a condo, that's simple, but there's so many nuances, right? So Casey, what do you think? Oh, we can't hear you.
All right. I just wanted to come on and talk about, I love spotting opportunities, right? Every time we see something that scares somebody off, that screams opportunity to me. I have a client right now that is, hopefully we just submitted the offer going into escrow today. He's getting a condo probably about $100,000 under market value because the agent was listing it as cash only because it was non-warrantable. We have a program that allows us to provide financing on that condo. It is a more expensive loan. But when you're getting $100,000 of instant equity and you've done your homework and you know what the issues are, and there's a clear path to solving those issues in the next 6 to 12 months, it's a huge win. It's an opportunity that most people don't know about if they're just searching on Redfin or Zillow by themselves and they're not working with an expert. So that is what we do as experts. We find these opportunities and we find solutions that make them work for you. So this is just an example I wanted to share. I'm really excited for the client and keeping an eye on my phone if you guys keep seeing me look down, because we want to celebrate this win when it's official.
Fingers crossed.
That's awesome. Honestly, one big thing I will say, if you guys want access to these deals and access to the community that we're on to be able to access all the information from all these local experts, make sure you join us in school. Make sure you're doing all this. You can get up-to-date information on the properties and be able to join in on the conversation. So.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your insights, your feedback on this. And it's always great to have these case studies, right? That way, our buyers know what to look for. I mean, what typical buyer will be, knowledgeable about making sure that the balcony is upgraded, right? Or, what about the roof, and what about these special assessments? That's why you have to reach out to these professionals here, the realtors here, the lenders here, escrow, who are in the know about what's really going on, and they want to be able to help you so that you don't make a bad decision on your purchase. So with that in mind, I'm super excited to the next segment of our show, Tracy Hasse, and let's get into the queen of events with our LEARNin Local events.
Hey everybody, TGIF, happy Friday. So yeah, Tracy Hasse here, Ticor Escrow Services, your luxury escrow advantage. I am super excited to be hosting the LEARNin Local events. But before we roll into that, let's hear from our sponsor.
Smart real estate investing starts with the right partner. At HLM Group LLC, we guide investors through every stage, from acquisition to full service management. Whether short, mid, or long-term rentals, we transform properties into high-performing, fully booked spaces. Design, staging, leasing, hospitality. We don't just manage properties, we create experiences that feel like home. Because the best investments deliver more than returns. They become places where life happens and memories begin. HLM Group LLC, own the property, we'll craft the experience.
Thank you again, Roger Lee, HLM Group LLC. All right, everybody, grab your pen, your paper, and you want to write down some upcoming events happening here in San Diego. And what is so fun about these, many times a number of us here on the podcast are at these events. So we get to connect live time and have a ton of fun and put deals together and edify each other. So join us, and here we go. Let's roll. So we have SDAR. Today I'm going to highlight the associations here in San Diego because about 4 days a week there are broker caravans. SDAR is one of the largest real estate associations. It stands for San Diego Association of Realtors. So go to the website sdar.com. There is a lineup of broker caravans and tours, typically Tuesday through Friday, and it is where networking is happening. And see for your area, or if you have a listing or you're looking for buyers, come and pitch whatever you're looking for and meet the local buyers. So when it comes to deal time, you guys have a connection. And then we have North San Diego County Association of Realtors, NSDCR. Same thing, go to their website, nsdcr.com. There are another whole round of events. It's literally events and the broker caravan and pitch sessions for commercial and residential real estate. So you don't want to miss out, and there might be one hot one for you that you can attend that is going to bring that deal to fruition. And then we have PSAR San Diego. Once again, they're another big real estate association in San Diego. Go to psar.org, I believe is the website there. And once again, they have events for commercial real estate, residential real estate, and you're going to meet the players, the people that are doing business, and they're a ton of fun. Every association does a fantastic job at hosting events and hosting the local realtor broker caravans, and it's fun to check out the properties on caravan. And typically you do need to be a member of the association, so it's worthwhile to check into it and know about it. And so what else we have here? So we have Oceanside meet and greet happening today, and I know many of us here on the podcast are going to be there. That is the rooftop bar in Oceanside today, March 27th from 2 to 4 p.m. That looks like a ton of fun, overlooking the beautiful ocean. What a way to cap off the week. And then we've got the Real Estate Inner Circle, another one of my favorites. Many of us here, once again, attend this. We're members of the University Club. Unlock the power of collaboration at the Real Estate Inner Circle. That is Wednesday, April 8th, about a week and a half away, 11:30 to 1 p.m. Be sure to RSVP, call the University Club. It is a private club. If you're not a member, it's a great way to get a sneak peek as to what magic is happening there. And then we have one more. SDAR is hosting on April 23rd, showcasing innovative development strategies. And this is brought to you by their commercial division. So once again, you go to the website, sdar.com. You're going to check out all the details. And typically there's an Eventbrite. I believe this is on Eventbrite, so you can get RSVP'd for that. And I think that's a wrap for our events, unless anybody else has one they want to share.
No, I'm psyched. I'm heading to the event right now. I'm gonna get set up. I can't wait to see all you guys. It's gonna be amazing.
2 hours early, Ruben. 2
Ruben.
hours early.
Hey, listen, I'm telling you, I'm all over the place. We're making it happen. So it's gonna be exciting. I hope to see you guys.
Coach Rue rocks. Coach Rue. Yeah, you get to meet Coach Rue, the founder of LEARNin Local Live. Woohoo!
That's right. That's right. By the way, I might consider buying a property in Vista now after today. You guys,
I got a couple for you. We'll talk later.
I'm gonna buy a property in Vista, and it's not gonna be a condo. I'm just decided. You know what I mean? Like there's just, you guys just.
There's this really cute one. On Beaumont. I'll show it to you.
Oh man, but no, it's amazing. It's amazing. I think really the key of all this, you guys, is the in-person events. We're starting to have these in-person events, promoting them. Obviously going to be in Vista at the Belching Beaver next Friday, and I'm honestly going to be thinking about this episode, and it's the point. You see the episode, okay, you missed the episode, check out the episode, and then meet us on Friday. You get me? Like, it's just, you guys have to be on top of it, reminding people all the time, hey, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. I miss the Carlsbad, I miss Lakeside, I miss Vista. You got to just be out there. I'm Eminem, I'm Cadillac Chris. You know what I mean? Harry Houdini. Get out there. Just get out there. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys. It's been it's an amazing week. So Chris, you did a great job with the show. Stephanie, first time on the show. Oh my goodness. You're going to be a natural. With all the conversation, the level of conversation that's happening right now, it's just impossible for us to be seen. You know what I mean? Like people want to be talking about this. We are just the first ones doing it. So, Chris, what's your take for the whole episode? Being the host, you get to decide.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's been an amazing show. Thank you, Stephanie, and thank you so much for all of our professionals here with all the content that we created for our viewers. I think that it was an amazing show focusing in on Vista, and I think this is the only show that actually does that. Brings you all the professionals here in one place and focuses on different regions. So I'm super excited for all the other shows that are going to be coming up, even our LEARNin Local Challenge that's going to be happening shortly. So just a lot of great content, and we're here to help a lot of these buyers and sellers, do what they need to do to reach the real estate objectives. So again, we're here to connect, collaborate, and create content with all of these professionals. Please reach out to us so that we can connect you with these experts. And again, please join us on School, become a member, become a part of our amazing and growing community so that you can participate in being a subject market educator, or just if you're interested in learning more about real estate, join us on School. And with that, I just want to thank everybody for watching our show. Thank you so much for being here at LEARNin Local Live, and then we'll see you at the next show. Take care.